Hey y'all, it's Brandon with Voodoo Forge. I set up at the Nashville Flea Market in Nashville, Tennessee every month, and it's not a, well, there's junk there, but there's also antiques and crafts, and there's good stuff. It's not just ceramic Indians and diabetic socks. But anyway, I set up there every month and sell stuff. Well, Friday I went over and one of the junk dealers I know had a little 3.5 inch vise that had been coated with primer, but it was a Dunlap vise, real good vise. It was solid, everything was there. So I bought it for $10. I've got a place I need it, so I bought it for $10. I came home to clean it up, and I ended up doing a full restoration on it. And so anyway, this is what I did going through that. Well, here it is, a little Dunlap 5244, made in the USA bench vise, 3.5 inch jaws. Somebody painted it with this primer all over everything. It opens easily and closes easily. I'll get down there and look at the threads in a minute. The lock, I suppose is what this is called, is froze up. I'm going to tap on it with a hammer here in a minute, but it's real well made. It's got a indentation here for the other end of the arm to go through, but I did a little scraping on it. I think this was one of the red ones, so I'll probably end up repainting it after I clean it all up. First things first, let's take this thing apart, see what we got. It's a very sturdy vise. Okay, I'm gonna tap that. Now, I'm not using a very big hammer. That broke it loose immediately. Right. Up to that point, pull it straight out. Everything's coming apart pretty easy, considering. Okay, it's got a bushing in there. Let's put that back. Okay, so the inside of it, where it has no treatment at all, no paint or anything, it's just got a little bit of rust. I doubt this thing was in real bad shape before it got painted. It's very solid. Now the threads on a bigger vise and nicer vise, the part with the threads will come out. This one's made into it, so if they get busted, the whole vise is garbage. Alright. That one popped right out. Oh boy. That one didn't. Oh boy. Well, the jaws are off. This one came over, let it sit for about 5 minutes of penetrating oil, and screw came right out. This one, I started to strip the screw with this screwdriver, so I had to get a bigger Phillips head, and just to be on the safe side, I heated it with a torch, and then it popped right out. So what we've got now to take it apart is to get the screw out Now I'm looking at it and I think I'm going to have to grind a little or use a chisel on that right there and pop it loose, and then the whole thing should come right out. Okay, so the way this was in here is this little nut right here was mashed, had a like peened over section into a groove on here. So I had to grind that out with a Dremel tool. Now I'm gonna have to slide this off. So we'll put some penetrating oil on it. So I did some tapping, and this guy is pretty much free at this point. There we go. Right there's our screw and our screw attention parts. So now we can clean all this up real good. Okay, I got that terrible primer cleaned off of this, or it had to have been primer. It wasn't a very good one though. It's what really kind of gets me is the Dunlap tag right here. You can see it still had some of the orange paint on the Dunlap and the black on the little plate here. It's really a pretty attractive tag, and that's ruined now because I had to clean it off like that. But now, oddly enough, I'm gonna mask it and spray it with primer. I'm gonna mask off all the areas where I don't want to paint it, and then get it painted with primer. But this thing's in great shape. Everything cleaned up real good. So I'm gonna wipe it down with mineral spirits. Well, she's masked off. I'm gonna start with the bottoms, kind of the areas that aren't going to get a lot of looking at, but still need protection. It's just the primer. The primer I'm using, by the way, is automobile primer. I use this on a lot of my tool stands and stuff before I put the final paint on. It seems to work pretty good. Time to get the top. Now I'm removing the masking tape while the paint is still pretty wet. If you wait until the paint is completely dry, you have a good possibility of tearing the paint. And I don't want that. I won't tear the paint. Quite happy with the paint. Oh boy. The time has come to put the base back on the main vise body. And install the lock. I'm hoping get a few turns on this before it has to be. Yeah, I think that's the end of it. We gotta start turning this now. See how much easier this thing slides in here without that old primer. Now I would say that what I am about to do is going to be the only thing that people have to gripe about this entire scenario, and that is I'm going to, dadgummit, drop that washer. I'm going to tack weld this keeper piece on here. Now originally it was staked on here, but I don't see that as being as feasible as just tacking it on. That's it, that's where it needs to be. Okay, I'm just going to spot this thing. Now I would say that this is totally unnecessary, but I wanted to try it to see how it looked. Here is the finished product. Completely painted and reworked and spinning, and well, it won't go all the way around, but it goes pretty good way around. Now this, I'm not gonna put this one in the workshop you're familiar with. I've got a little area where I work on stuff. And that's where I'm going to stick this little 3.5 inch vise. But $10, and it can be cleaned up. You don't have to paint it as ridiculously as I did. You don't have to, mask this off and paint the stuff with the other paint. As a matter of fact, I could have just come home and lubricated the screw on this and used it, but I wanted it to be in a little bit better shape. There's another vise I'm in the middle of cleaning up for a neighbor, and then there's another vise that I picked up today, actually, that's I'm going to use to replace one of my cheaper vices. So good vices are out there, and yeah, this is a lot classier than, say, that right there, which I'm desperately searching for a 6-inch or larger vise to replace this one. I've got a 6-inch vise, but it goes on my welding table. It's just not on there right now, so I'm looking for something 6 inches or bigger, and I'm gonna have to pay for it, no questions. Hopefully that'll inspire you. I mean, these things are out there. I bought another vise today, same flea market, for $20. It's a lot bigger vise and a lot older. Good old American-made vices are out there. You can find them. You just got to do a little hunting. And this little guy right here will last you a lifetime. I've got $10 cash in it. Maybe an hour and a half work into it, so they're out there. You can get them and use them for the rest of your life, and then your kids will fight over them at your auction. So anyway, I hope y'all got something out of this video. If you did, please hit the like button down there. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, and y'all behave yourselves.